Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, do all that stuff. Yeah. Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back. So today, not going to do a whole lot of talking. Let's get to work. I'm going to put the drive shaft in, start buttoning up everything else, putting the fluids in. Lot to do. Let's get the show on the road. Alright. So I'm going to take this transfer case down. Oh yeah, because I got to do the seal here. So I'm going to take this thing down, do the seal, then we'll put it back up. Jeez, I almost forgot what I was taking it down for. That would have been comical. This is going to be more of a treat than I thought. The nut is behind the mount here. So I'm going to have to jack it back up and take the mount off. So I don't think I have enough room to go all the way up with it. This will be the first time that I'm actually taking it all the way out, too. It's definitely a different size. I thought those were the same bolt. I probably didn't even notice it. Like I tightened it by hand, and then I put the 17 on it. And this is a 17.6 point. And when I had the 17.12 point on it, it didn't work. But I probably didn't even notice it because I put it in my hand before and then just gave it a little quick snug down. Hey, what the hell? This will be good. I'm going to take the transmission cross member back out too, because I did get some different bolts to put in there. They're a little bit thicker. I think these are like a 3/8 size. And I ended up getting some M10 Allen head bolts, but they're like a 12/9 grade instead of this. So they're a little bit stronger too. At least I get to practice some disassembly. If I was really smart, I would have grabbed the RTV already. But I'm not that smart. Oh yeah. Alright. Set her down. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is just grab some RTV. I'm just going to put it around here. And we'll call it good. Don't feel bad for me, guys. I was just watching the video of the guy with the Hellcat 350Z. He's putting the Hellcat in it, and he just did this with the transmission for the fucking thing underneath the car in the driveway. Nuts. Alright, let's do this. You can see I got the RTV on there all the way around now. I'm gonna try that instead of doing the little paper gasket thing that it came with. I'm sure that would be fine too, but I just feel like this might be a little bit finer. Alright, so make sure that I can reach my nuts. There, now she's on. Throw a nut on the top one so it don't fall on my head. And then I'm just going to double nut this thing all the way around. My other nut go? Where's my other nutty? Alright, so that should be on and good and sealed, and then I'm going to be able to do the fluids. I'll be able to put the transfer case fluid in. Drive shaft guy just called me to double check something. It sounds like he's working on it right now. It sounds like he's putting it together. He wanted to verify that the yoke that he had is going to work for it. So I might be able to go pick that up today, actually. So I really got to get cooking here. All right, so I got everything bolted back up now. I did switch these mounting bolts out. These are, now they're all M10 by 1.5. Everything is M10 1.5. So before I had like a standard 3/8 size in there. So I'm trying to convert everything back over to the same size bolts and nuts. So that one's double nutted with a lock nut on it. And double nutted all of the transfer case mounting bolts. So this thing's in now, hopefully for the last time. I do have to do the shifter linkage and stuff yet, so I'm going to wait to put the cross member brace thing on there. So start to fill fluids and yeah. To fill the transfer case, I got the fill plug out. The drain plug here, fill plug here. So I got my little pump deal set up. I did pump some in already. I'm just gonna take the pump, slam it in the top. I'm gonna start to fill. Fill until I see it start to come out, basically. Alright, now you can kind of see it coming out. There we go. So now it's full, you can see it draining out, and I'm going to tighten her back up. Alright, so here's the idea with this front safety loop idea. So I'm going to, just got this piece of 3" by 3/16, and it's like 3 feet long. That's going to sit up on top of this body mount bracket and then go all the way across over to the other mount bracket over there on the other side. And then I'm going to be able to weld that loop to this thing. Hopefully that's going to work. So I'll probably drill a hole in there to bolt this thing in place. Let's get started. Okay, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I don't think that drive shaft loop is going to work. I'll show you why. Basically, I made it a little bit too big, and it's actually kind of hitting the transmission, and it doesn't really fit the way that I would like it to. So I looked at this a little bit more, and honestly, my main concern was it dropping down and hitting digging into the ground. And there's actually this cross member piece. The drive shaft hits this cross member first, so like if front U-joint were to break and this falls down, it hits that cross member, and even if it comes all the way over, it doesn't hit the ground unless the U-joint were to break, and then it would come back down. But the other concern I have is if it were to break, it's going to whip and hit the transmission. So I'm thinking maybe I could make a little, like a bolt-in bracket as like a stopper or something if it wanted to kind of swing over to try to protect the transmission. And it's going to be spinning clockwise if you're looking at it from the front. So I don't think it's going to be able to come up because it's going to hit the exhaust, transmission, and all this other stuff over here. So I guess I might just leave it and maybe try to do something else just around the backside right here. So then the other situation is if it breaks at the back, but it's pretty protected inside here. I mean, it's gonna hit the transmission, but got the cross member and all this other junk. So how about we just don't break it? That'd be a good idea. So I'm just gonna leave it like this and try to brainstorm some other ideas, and we'll move on. So yeah, that was fun while it lasted, but you can't blame me for trying. So what I think I might do is maybe, if I decide I want to use that thing, it would still fit around the back side or the front side, just not where the transmission pan is. That's really what it's hitting. So yeah, moving along. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call it for the day. I didn't get a whole lot done, but I got some of the bigger things done. I did get my fuel lines and everything ran up. This was actually kind of a biatch to get these up there, because I run them up on top of the trans, and this one I have them wrapped inside like 5/8 heater hose. So I have the 1/2 inch line, and then I run a big heater hose around it. So I was using this little hose before, just on like one of the little critical firewall spots, but I decided to take that off and then run a hose all the way from basically from the fuel rail down to where my pressure regulator is. So that thing's completely protected now. I kind of got hung up for like probably a half hour doing that stuff. That stuff was kind of difficult, because when I normally do it, like, and I had the transmission out, I'll put all the wiring, or I'll put all the hoses up, and then I'll put the trans in, and it kind of pushes everything up where it needs to be. But this, I had it laying underneath the truck, and then I tried to push it up from the bottom, and that was a little bit challenging because it was getting hung up on the firewall and stuff. So that took a while. Yeah, and then I had the front speed sensor for the transmission sitting on the table. So I don't know what was in my head. I knew it was on the table, and I was just kind of one of those things like, I'll do it later. And I did it later, but it was after the drive shaft and everything was already in there. So I was like trying to fight around that to get that thing in. So that was not really the greatest idea, but it's in there now, and got all the wiring and electrical done, plugged in on the transmission now. So that stuff's all loomed and safe, and it's in a nice decent spot that it's not going to be hitting the drive shaft, anything like that. So slowly just picking away at this thing. I did order the shifter though, so the shifter is actually scheduled to be here tomorrow. So the transfer case shifter. So I'll have to do that, mount that thing, probably cut a hole in the floor so the rod can go through to the transfer case. So I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna go, but we still have to do that. And then really the rest is just gonna be like put the intake on and plug the wires in. I also did get new transmission cooler lines. I ordered that stuff. So if you saw it in the other video, this is my old transmission cooler line, taking all the hard lines out. And then I did order a new cooler and all new lines. So ordered one of the bigger, like the 30 row or 25 row coolers that has the fan on it. So I might just run it back, like behind the transmission. I'm not sure if I want to run it behind or up in front yet. I'm still undecided on that, but that stuff should be here pretty soon. And yeah, I don't see any reason I won't be able to test fire this thing and maybe drive it by the weekend. So today's Wednesday, might be able to drive it by the weekend. Only thing that may be a delay really is I'm still waiting on the drive shaft and the transmission cooler, but I could probably rig up the old one and then just drive it around a little bit and make sure everything works. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, do all that stuff. Yeah.